1cP-LSD, a psychedelic toy, but still useful. I tried several psychedelics, but never any form of LSD or similar. Finally, one day I was able to try 1cP-LSD, which some people say is very similar to LSD. I put this blotter under my mouth and it was totally tasteless. After about half an hour, I started feeling its effect, and I noticed that I felt very accelerated, wanting to run into something but not sure what. To experience life, smell everything, taste everything like never before. I did not notice any visual or auditory distortion, despite clearly feeling that the substance was already reaching its peak. I was able to think faster and with more precision without feeling sluggish, slow, and imprecise as I usually am. I tried to drive the car, and I could drive it totally fine, but I just wanted to reach my destination faster than usual. After parking my car, I went to a park, full of people enjoying the sun. At that point, I noticed that all the people there walking in the park were part of a huge organism that I was also part of. I never felt so connected to others, except when I took other psychedelics. The feeling of empathy for other people, animals, and insects increased. Similarly, but not as much as with tryptamines. I felt that spiritual and love feeling that is common with ayahuasca, mushrooms, methyltryptamine, and 5-MeO. But with this form of LSD, the feeling was more intellectual than emotional or spiritual. Because this form of LSD didn't pull me away from the ego like tryptamines do. I could observe myself closely, but from a different perspective, like from the outside. It was a very cool feeling, like closely judging someone really close that is actually myself. I could see how I created my own bad habits, just like sitting on the sand creates a small hole in that place that makes us comfortable to sit in the same hole. But that does not mean that it is convenient to keep on sitting there. Maybe there are other better places to stay. While friends were talking to me, I could understand what they meant before they finished their phrases, and I could think my own stuff in parallel, and simultaneously make branches of new conceptual connections from my point of view with the ideas in their speech. This skill might be possible for many people, even myself, but it was greatly increased under the effect of LSD. Because of the small amount of LSD I took, that trip was never going to be very strong, but of all the psychedelics I tried, LSD was the most comfortable one, the least mental challenging one, without any body load, the most intellectual one, but the least emotional and the least spiritual. LSD in small amounts feels like a cute toy compared to heavy beasts like ayahuasca or the brutal lightning of 5-MeO DMT. A friend of mine also tried 1cP-LSD, and while tripping, he decided very unsafely to go swim in a river. And he said that he decided to go for a walk, get inside a river while tripping, and he felt like dying while floating on the river's surface, while also watching geometric patterns in the sky. I learned that LSD can be one of the easiest psychedelics for beginners, as long as it is taken in small quantities. It is also safe because it does not require MAOIs. The limitation with LSD seems to be that, despite being intellectually useful, it was not very spiritually deep, unless doses greatly exceeding the standard dose are used. Still, LSD can surely help deepen thought and make meditation far stronger without much effort. Of all the psychedelics I tried, 1cP-LSD is the closest one to party drugs, because people probably don't want to go to a party under the ayahuasca effect. 1cP-LSD makes life more fun and interesting. greatly increasing curiosity and willing to discover and enjoy both old and new experiences. After 8 hours, the LSD effect mostly faded away, leaving me with the sensation that, at least at smaller dosages, this can be a fun psychedelic toy that everyone should try at least a couple of times.